Users no longer click blue links. They ask questions and receive synthesized, confident answers directly from AI models. These systems don't rank your web pages. Instead, they absorb your content, digest it, and decide whether your brand is even worth mentioning in the room. Look how the market is reacting. This chart contrasts the $227 million poured into LLM monitoring tools against just $86 million for actual execution platforms. We are rushing toward a 2026 extinction event, where companies are paying millions just to watch their visibility drop. Surviving this shift requires a complete break from the past. You have to abandon keyword pattern matching entirely, and your new tools need structural write access directly into your database. Because insight without action is just expensive anxiety. A dashboard that tells you your brand doesn't show up in ChatGPT without automatically moving to fix it is functionally dead. The old physics of visibility relied on optimizing text strings. You packed a page with the right density and tags, hoping to satisfy a web crawler's pattern matching. This split-screen comparison shows exactly what changed. On the left, legacy SEO maps flat keywords to static URLs. But on the right, modern generative engine optimization relies on ontologies. The AI must understand the relationships between real-world concepts, mapping entities into a dynamic semantic network. We have moved from a deterministic system, where keywords bought you a fixed position on a page, to a probabilistic one. The large language model acts as an oracle, synthesizing entirely new answers based on mathematical confidence. Every piece of structured data you maintain and every authoritative citation you earn shifts that probability distribution. The more robust your data, the higher the mathematical weight connecting your brand to a specific category. You cannot trick an intelligence that builds a complete model of the world by simply stuffing keywords into an HTML header. Optimization now demands something much deeper. You are actively shaping the model's understanding of who you are, what you do, and why your brand matters as an actual entity in the real world. Building this architecture starts with your foundation. You have to establish a pristine, machine-readable digital twin of your organization to serve as your authoritative ground truth. This circular framework maps the 4 required components. We start with the memory layer, BaseForge. By connecting directly to your CMS database, it creates structured JSON LD schemas that lock down your core claims, preventing the AI from hallucinating or experiencing model drift. With that memory secured, we move to the voice. We connect that ground truth directly to an autonomous content orchestrator, known as ContentForge. The orchestrator operates as a deterministic synthesizer. It pulls a single, verified technical truth from the memory layer and atomizes it into white papers, blog posts, and scripts simultaneously. The objective here isn't to win awards for prose. The goal is to generate information gain, injecting highly specific, novel signals into the ecosystem that the LLM didn't have in its original training data. By hardwiring a pristine memory base directly into a high-speed synthesizer, you guarantee your brand is constantly feeding the AI distinct, original arguments that it actually wants to consume. But self-publishing your own truths isn't enough to build mathematical trust. You have to validate those claims through external consensus across authoritative sources like Wikipedia, Reddit, and industry forums. This is the reputation layer, SiteForge. In legacy search, the currency was the hyperlink. Today, the currency is co-occurrence, systematically ensuring your brand is mentioned alongside relevant category terms across external nodes. To manage all of this, we need a sensory cortex. SignalForge closes the loop, governing the entire ecosystem. The governance layer functions as a trigger. When it detects a visibility gap, it instructs the other components to respond immediately. This creates an automated execution cycle based on the military OODA loop. First, it observes, immediately detecting a drop in your share of voice. Then it orients, automatically auditing your entity graph to see if a competitor is dominating a semantic cluster. Next, the system decides, drafting an execution brief for 12 new external citations. Finally, it acts, deploying the content to the target publishers before instantly restarting the loop. Speed through this loop is everything. While competitors are waiting on a sluggish quarterly agency report to tell them what went wrong, your architecture is already correcting the deficit. Chaining these four components together transforms slow, isolated marketing tasks into a closed, cybernetic feedback loop that continuously corrects itself. Reaching level 4 delivers an autonomous system, a synthetic employee that optimizes brand probability around the clock without human intervention. The right acts and compounding citations build a structural moat, making the system too deeply embedded in your operations for a competitor to displace. But there is a crucial timing reality you have to account for. Large language models operate on strict training cycles, creating a rigid 6 to 10 week delay from the moment you publish to the moment the AI actually ingests your data. Right now, these models are actively solidifying their view of the world based on who has structured their data. The window for action is closing fast. The brands installing this infrastructure today will be the ones these AI engines learn to cite and trust. Everyone else will simply be